Good afternoon. My name is Jerry Snyder, and I will be discussing the topic of OSPF, which stands for Open Shortest Path First. It is a major protocol in which most network engineers use to configure local area networks, their WAN connections, and other areas in which they are required to configure. So what is OSPF? I will give you 30 seconds to write down your answer to this question. Please type it on a Word document. Alright, that was a pretty simple question. I just want it in your own words. I don't want you writing it down from your textbook or from the online curriculum. So to discuss OSPF, what is OSPF? Well, it is a routing protocol. It is a dynamic protocol in which you enable onto the switch or router, which is a layer 3 device, and it runs on its own if you properly configure it, maintain it, and troubleshoot when problems arise. It is a link state protocol in which it uses a database to maintain all of its connections, its mapping, its topology, and how it communicates from one device to the other. And why are we learning this? Why am I up here talking to you about this? Well, it is the most widely used protocol. Wherever you get a job at, after you finish this emphasis, you will be required to know OSPF. It is used in 80% of the networks. What about the other 20%? Well, the other 20% is probably using OSPF and another routing protocol such as ERGRP, ISIS, and possibly some RIP in production networks. Another thing about OSPF is it works on all types of layer 3 devices. It doesn't matter whether you have a Cisco device, an Extreme device, an HP device, a 3Com device, a Juniper device. OSPF is OSPF. So your next question, I'll give you 60 seconds to write its answer, is what are the 3 advantages and disadvantages of OSPF? Alright, welcome back. So what are some types of configurations you will use the OSPF? Now that you know what OSPF is, what are some types of configurations? Well, the first thing is you are an administrator or possibly a technician in a local area network. So within that local area network, you are going to have to configure OSPF, its proper areas, its proper summary routes, its proper routing between one device and a local area network within that local area network. Possibly you could be configuring it through an ISP or working on an ISP. Doesn't matter which way you're doing it, you're going to have to configure from one remote device to another, which means you have to communicate from one area to another, for which you will have to do this securely through authentication and also through proper use of the bandwidth provided by the ISP. So another reason why it's used, again, I specified it works on all vendor equipment, but once you've got it all set up, it runs through all of its packets and searches the network and populates its tables in its databases and does all its mapping that it needs to do. It pretty much runs on its own. So from there From there, you're basically in a maintenance, or what I call monitor mode, in which you are providing input and checking to make sure that devices are communicating together. Those users within the network can communicate not only within the local area network, but to the ISP or through the ISP to remote connections. Also, it is a very robust routing protocol. It doesn't use very much bandwidth. The reason it's in 80% of the networks is once it's set, you're doing minimal maintenance. And what I mean by minimal maintenance is you're only spending maybe an hour or 2 hours a month checking and maintaining and maybe tweaking little settings here and there to make it run more efficiently. So that is why it's so popular among network engineers and network managers within enterprises and campus networks. So, after you've read the curriculum, after you went through your online curriculum and taken a little brief quiz that follows every chapter, we have an assignment to do. You have what we will use a packet tracer simulation exercise, and the name of the exercise is Configure Basic OSPF. Here you will have 3 routers, 3 switches, and 3 PCs, and you will have to put them all in one area for them to communicate with each other within that single area. The area will be area 0, and you will utilize the commands that they request for you to do. There will also be some questions within the activity. Please answer those questions. All right, if you did the commands and properly and you've read the chapter, you will be able to answer those questions. They're not very in-depth questions. They're basically questions making sure that you are properly doing the lab. Also, you'll see in the instructions where you take some screenshots of different parts of your computer screen. Remember, it's Control-Alt-Delete. If you're using a Mac, it's Control-Alt print screen, or Control-Alt function print screen if you're using a Mac. After you finish the packet tracer activity, which includes answering the questions and doing the screenshots, save the packet tracer activity. After you save that packet tracer activity, you will put the PDF file for all of your answers to the lab, which is your packet tracer lab, your packet tracer activity lab, and the answers to the questions to this video, which is on a Word document, and then you will put them into a folder. From that folder, you will put it into a zip drive, and then you will submit that zip drive to the Dropbox for this topic, OSPF. All right, so today, in conclusion, I went over what OSPF is, which for all of you, this is the reason why I teach this. Okay, there's a reason why that you need to know this. There's a reason why that it pertains to when you leave this program, that you can successfully configure, maintain, and monitor it, and troubleshoot if need be when you leave here. So this is a very important protocol for you to know. So OSPF is a routing protocol. It is link state. It's most widely used. It works on all types of equipment. Its configurations are for ISPs and LANs, and it basically runs on its own when it's configured, and it's robust and utilizes very little bandwidth once it's set. If you have any questions about OSPF or about the activity, please email me or call me. The assignment and activity will be due in 1 week. Thank you and good luck.